Would you look at that, my friends? It's January and it's sunny. Look at the sun coming in. Awesome. Right, so you're here with Scott Marsh, the Mind Body Mentor, and today what I want to talk to you about is central fat gain, or holding fat in the middle. One of the most common things that I get asked, especially if people have really been on a journey for a fair bit of time, is everything's going down, Scott. My arms are getting leaner, my legs are going down, but why is it all staying around my belly? I think this is a really good question. And I know on my own fat loss journey is that my belly was actually the last place to go, and it's always the first place to come back as well. So it's actually a little bit more complicated than most people think. Now, central fat gain, or holding fat in the middle, is normally associated with a hormone known as cortisol, which you may realise is actually a stress hormone. So when we're under stress, we release a hormone known as cortisol. Now, to really understand how to lose fat in the middle, we've really got to think about how our body is dealing with stress, how our body is living with stress, and how we're actually managing our stress on a day-to-day basis. So without boring you too much with really in-depth biology, is that what I want to talk about is the central nervous system. Now, the central nervous system essentially has two different branches. The first branch is known as the sympathetic nervous system, and the other branch is known as the parasympathetic nervous system. And they're actually designed to deal with two very different things in the body. And actually your entire body changes how it works based on what actual system of the central nervous system you're operating in. So to keep things simple, let's talk about the sympathetic nervous system first of all. So the sympathetic nervous system is actually also known as the fight or flight system. Okay, so essentially if you were to come up against a threat, or in kind of Paleolithic times you came up against your saber-toothed tiger or your big woolly mammoth and things like that, is that you're going to be in the sympathetic nervous system. It is designed to get you to react. It is designed to get you to move. It is designed to protect you. It's designed just to get you moving as fast as you can away from a threat, or basically putting up your fists and getting ready to fight it. Okay, so that's the fight or flight system, the sympathetic nervous system. The other one, the parasympathetic nervous system, is often associated with what we know as rest and digest. So that the whole idea of the parasympathetic nervous system is that it is a relaxing system. It is designed to put you in a state of rest so that you can recover, so you can regenerate, so you can re-energize, and all these sorts of things too. Now, why is that important? Well, the thing about central fat loss is that it is associated with the hormone cortisol, as we said, a stress hormone. So to be able to store in that area, it means that our body is going to be under stress a fair bit. So we need to manage that system if we want to lose central adiposity. I think that's the right word anyway. But hey, so if we want to reduce it, we need to start thinking about what nervous system we're operating in, or what nervous system we're dominantly operating on a regular basis. So, of course, if you want to lose fat, we know that you need to be on a decent exercise plan. We know that you need to be following a nutrition plan that actually works for you at the same time. But we also need to think about, after we've done all that, and also maybe we've considered a few supplements and things like that, how to actually get fat loss going. Because a lot of people are still following the right sort of exercise plan, the right sort of nutrition plan, but they just can't get rid of this area. So the thing I want you to consider today, if you're storing around the middle, is what system do you think that you're operating in? One way that I like to get people to think about it is that if your arms are leaning up, if your legs are leaning up, your extreme areas, your extremities, if they are lean and you're holding in the middle, it's basically showing that you are in the sympathetic nervous system. Because essentially what your body is doing is it is taking all of the blood, everything it needs, and it's putting all of its energy into those areas. It's the simplest way to look at it like that. So the reason that you're leaning up in those areas is because you're in the sympathetic nervous system, you're in fight or flight. However, people who are losing all over, or people who are losing around the belly area, tend to be a lot more parasympathetic. And a lot of it can be genetic, a lot of it can come from how we've been brought up over the years and how we actually manage stress, but it doesn't mean that we can't change it. So if you are storing around the middle, yes, please do optimize your diet. Please do optimize your exercise. Although do consider that exercise and nutrition in themselves can act as stressors on the body as well and put you in the sympathetic nervous system. But if you are storing around the middle, the grand solution to really start looking into is how to manage stress on a daily basis. And there's so many different ways, and people are going to find that some ways work best for them and some ways just don't work at all. So what are some ways that you can put yourself in the parasympathetic nervous system? Well, for me, I like meditation. I like things like Tai Chi, I like things like yoga, I like things like breathing exercises, I like things like stretching, I like optimizing my sleep. Contrast showers can work really well, but what we really want to do is try and get on a daily basis at least a bit of time to put ourselves in, relax and rest, so rest and digest times, so that we can actually digest our food, so we can actually optimize how we feel about ourselves and how we can actually optimize our energy levels. And as a byproduct of sitting in this zone, you're going to find that your central storage is going to start reducing too. So when you're on these grand programs that are putting you on days and days of exercise or days and days of restrictive dieting, there's nothing wrong with that in the short term, but as a long-term solution that's going to get rid of that central storage area or that belly fat, is that you need to start consider adding in those things that are going to calm your system back down, allow your digestion to optimize itself, allow your liver to do its job of detoxing the body and doing all those sorts of things. So just have a look through your plan for me. If you're storing fat around the middle and it's bothering you, and I know that for so many people, it bothers a lot of people, is that I want you just to have a little consider and have a little think through your plan at the moment and just consider, have you got some things that are bringing you back into the parasympathetic nervous system, things that are bringing you back to relax yourself, and things that are allowing you to deal and manage with the stress that you're putting through your body. That, my friends, is one simple solution to start getting rid of belly fat. Scott Marsh, the Mind Body Mentor, out for today, and I hope that helped in some way.